Welcome to the Digital Public Information Center of Lovers Creek Channel Rehabilitation adjacent to Brunton Park. My name is Rob Amos. I'm a consulting engineer with Aquifor Beach, and this project is being undertaken for the City of Barrie. Your comments are encouraged and appreciated, as this will provide the project team with an opportunity to address any specific project issues or concerns you may have. The study area is located along Lovers Creek, upstream of Lake Simcoe, alongside of Brunton Park, which is located within the tablelands adjacent to the creek and the erosion issue below. Access to the creek for the purposes of erosion protection will be gained off of Brunton Crescent, as shown within the red hatched area on the aerial image, with the specific work area of slope stabilization and erosion control highlighted with the green circle. The Brunton Park playground will remain open during construction, with a clear and safe division by temporary fencing between the work area and the parklands. This active erosion along Lovers Creek has been occurring for some time and is a natural process which will continue to erode and oversteepen the slope without mitigation. This area was fenced off in 2006 to address local residents' safety concerns. However, with the erosion continuing, only mitigation measures within the creek below will stop eventual loss of all parkland. The purpose of this digital PIC is to present the detailed design plans, which include aspects such as tree removals, as well as compensation replanting, construction details, such as where specifically the erosion control works will occur, as well as aspects such as construction access and associated details such as flow management and erosion control. The PIC will prepare residents for the pending construction and provide an opportunity to ask questions to city representatives. Any concerns that you may have will be addressed prior to construction. The specific details or highlights of construction will include an armor stone retaining wall, which will stabilize that oversteepened slope. However, between the retaining wall and the creek, there will be a vegetated buttress composed of large rock boulders, soil, and native plantings, which will offer shade to the creek. In order to implement the armor stone wall and the vegetated buttress, a minor realignment of the water course will be required, of which we have used natural channel design principles to modify both the bed and the banks. Following construction, an extensive native tree and shrub planting plan will occur to provide compensation for all impacted areas. Specific to the roadway impacts and construction access, on-street parking along Brunton Crescent will be temporarily unavailable for the duration of construction. However, access to the driveways directly along the project limits will not be impacted. Also, as previously noted, the playground will remain open throughout the duration of construction, with temporary fencing providing protection between the park users and the construction equipment. Some representative photos of the existing conditions are presented, with photo A, a historic crib wall that provided a small lookout which is no longer accessible and will be removed. Photo B, showing a recent major failure of the slope where trees from up top have fallen down into the creek below. This is a result of undermining the root masses and the continued regression of the slope. Photo C in the bottom left shows the oversteepened nature of the slope and the risks to the park users that are located just beyond the top of the trees. Photo D illustrates the point of access off of Brunton Crescent, where construction vehicles will enter into the parkland and then continue through as shown on photo E and photo F in order to gain entry into the valley below. Photo G provides a vantage of the upstream creek conditions where the proposed works will be tying into. This is the engineering drawing that represents the existing conditions of the watercourse and the slope in close proximity to the parklands above. It illustrates the meander bend of the channel, the unstable slope, and then the proximity of that existing fence line that will be removed and then replaced. This drawing, in contrast, shows the proposed conditions that will be created following construction. It includes a temporary access road, which will extend off of Brunton Crescent and offer access for any maintenance works down into the valley. It includes an armor stone retaining wall with slope regrading to a stable inclination and a new fence line between the top of slope and the park. As well as within the channel itself, a minor realignment or pushing that meander bend away from the slope with a vegetated buttress buffer between the creek flows and the armor stone retaining wall. This drawing illustrates the plan form across the top, similar to what we had just looked at, as well as the profile of the watercourse channel, showing a long pool which extends around the meander bend with transition riffles upstream and downstream. This is considered to be stable morphology of the watercourse and will provide enhanced aquatic habitat for fish species which reside within the Lovers Creek corridor. Detailed cross sections are also included, illustrating the height of the armor stone retaining wall, as well as the extent of that slope regrading. The vegetated buttress is illustrated as a buffer between the retaining wall and the channel below. This drawing illustrates the erosion control fencing that will be installed as a temporary measure along the access road, and also illustrates the flow management program, which will include bypass pumping of the creek channel, allowing construction equipment and materials to work within the dry. Trees will need to be removed to facilitate construction, which have been identified by our team's certified arborist for removal. This drawing further illustrates the extents of the access as well as temporary staging and storage within the parklands above, and the specific extents of the project limits, trees that will be impacted and removed, as well as fencing adjacent to the Brunton Park playground. The restoration plan that will follow construction includes significant tree plantings as well as shrub plantings. Over 800 trees and 1,300 shrubs will be planted as compensation to ensure that an overall benefit to the riparian system occurs as a result of this project. Ground cover will also be restored with a terrace seed mixture of grasses, flowers, and ferns. Some examples of recent channel restoration projects. The top left photo being an armor stone retaining wall adjacent to parklands, considered to be a fixed point at which point whereby the creek will not be able to erode. The photo in the top right shows two buried armor stone walls with just the tops protruding, a natural channel design with rounded boulders and vegetation inset to the channel. The bottom left is a good example of the denseness of some of the native vegetation that will be included within the buttress, providing an enhancement to the overall aquatic habitat in specific contrast to the existing slope. And the photo in the bottom right illustrates the large equipment that will be used and how access within a natural system can be obtained for such large equipment with minimal impacts on the adjacent tree. Construction activities and best management practices include the use of experienced contractors. All contractors who will be given the opportunity to bid on this project will need to meet specific experience requirements. Construction supervision will be undertaken by a qualified professional with experience in similar projects. A safety-first mentality will be undertaken, including use of personal protective equipment for all workers, containment of the site, as well as respecting all COVID protocols consistent with City of Barrie and provincial requirements. Erosion sediment control and flow management throughout construction will occur, and a fish relocation program prior to any work that occurs will be undertaken. The tree preservation plan includes protection of all adjacent trees which will not be impacted, as well as replacement and compensation with new plantings following construction. A post-construction monitoring program will occur alongside of a warranty for the project. And during construction itself, the residents can expect daily noise between Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Conveniences will be on site for all workers and city staff, including a trailer and water. The implementation of the proposed works are scheduled for the summer of 2022. As a result of the fisheries window, all in-water and near-water works are to take place between July 15th and October 1st. However, tree removals prior to this time and before April 1st will occur to mitigate any impacts or risks with regards to nesting of birds. Thank you for participating in today's Digital Public Information Center. We appreciate your comments, which can be provided to Ms. Angela McLean, the City of Barrie's Engineering Project Manager, or myself, Rob Amos, the Consulting Project Manager for Aquafor Beach. Comment forms are available for download, and we'll look forward to discussing any input or issues you may have.